How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be going over the possible 12-0 flawless Battle Royale rewards that we will have released on the 21st. So let me go ahead and hide the face cam. I talked a little bit about it in my previous video, but we will have an MVP flashback and a Signature Series legend featured in the 12-0 Battle Royale rewards. We will also more than likely have these clues revealed on Twitter starting tomorrow morning, and then probably the morning before they're released on the 21st. We should have, like I said, MVP flashback and signature legend. This could be both hitters. They could be both pitchers. I think that there's a good chance that we'll have one of each. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about my predictions as well as the possible choices that I would really like to see. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a ton of other players included, but the main card I would like to see released is this MVP Bryce Harper from 2015. This was actually in a flawless reward from MLB The Show 17 as well. You got this card by going 12-0. He went for the maximum amount of stubs on the market. He was at 500,000 stubs. So he was one of the most sought after cards in 17, and this card with 125 capped out attributes, or attributes that could possibly go up to 125, would be amazing. I mean, he could have 120 power across the board, or 120 contact and power across the board. Another great option who already has a lower diamond overall player is Ryan Braun. I think that we could also see this card as a 12-0 flawless. In a couple years past, he had equipment collections. He had a special program. I believe that's how you're able to get this card in 17. But Ryan Braun has a great swing. This card would be great. I mean, not necessarily as much of a 5-tool player or 4-tool player as Bryce Harper, but Ryan Braun would certainly be usable. He could also have 100+ contact and power against both sides with a little bit lower vision. Probably the same thing goes for Bryce Harper. If they went with an MVP pitcher, I would really like to see Justin Verlander. I think that this card could potentially have outlier depending on which year they chose for him. This was a signature series, so don't get them confused. I'm not predicting this card as a signature series. That signature card will be a legend, so we'll get into that in a little bit. These first few cards are all going to be MVP focused players, just to kind of clarify that. But one thing I did want to mention as well, on the Justin Verlander card that we got as a postseason version in MLB The Show 17, he only had 4 pitches. So hopefully he'll have this same pitch repertoire with increased stats and velocity, or increased attributes and velocity with that card. Another option that I don't think many people have thought about, and I don't think that this is more of a likely chance. I think that we'll see Mike Trout later on, but we could get an MVP Mike Trout as a 12-0 Battle Royale reward because he was released for free in MLB The Show 18 as an immortal that you could easily grind out, and then in MLB The Show 19 he was released as a player program. It might be tougher to get the best version of Mike Trout in this game. Also, the live series Mike Trout is very good, so they could include this one earlier on as a 12-0 flawless reward. I just wanted to include it as a possible option. I think that for some of these MVPs, we were taking a look at some really good cards. I think Josh Donaldson could very easily be the 12-0 flawless reward. This card was also a player program in last year's game, and he always has one of the better no doubt animations out of some of these power hitters that we have in the game. I think that the one-handed finish, he kind of finishes halfway through his swing. I think it's really cool to see. I think it's a very smooth, no doubt animation. Anyway, I ended up giving up 3 home runs in one game to this card last year, and he just has great power. I mean, he put up some incredible numbers for the Blue Jays. I believe in MLB The Show 16, he was on the cover. That was also the year, or the year before, he won the MVP. So we could get Josh Donaldson. Another MVP choice is Clayton Kershaw, but I don't necessarily think that we'll get this card right away. I'm going to include a couple possibilities, but this card is an endgame pitcher. We got him released into the XP reward path, so I think that he has a good chance to be a little bit more rare this year, and he fits that 12-0 flawless reward path as a flashback MVP card. The next player I have on this list is one of my favorite players of all time, Miguel Cabrera. And I think that the card that we already have in MLB The Show 20 is a 2013 All-Star card. And Miguel Cabrera also won the MVP during that year and the year before that, along with the Triple Crown. So I think that this could be a great opportunity to release Miguel Cabrera. He already has a 90-something, I think it's a 93 overall maybe, 94 overall card. But he could definitely get a 99. I just don't think it will happen this early on. I'm not really sure. I think that this is more of a less likely chance. We might see some of those other guys before we see boosted up Miguel Cabrera. But he did have 2 MVPs. So another one is Christian Yelich. This is the Christian Yelich finest card that we had last year. But he also won an MVP. So I think we could have a Yelich. I mean, we have a couple really good outfielders. You know, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Ryan Braun. A couple infielders as well. We have Miggy and Josh Donaldson as infield options. I know for the 6th inning program, we should have, you know, some of those same bosses. And to go along with what I was saying for Miguel Cabrera, Jimmy Rollins has an impact veteran card from the same year that he also won the MVP. So he is getting a boosted card. So that's kind of my thought process in that. If the program is the same for the 6th inning, then we will be getting that Jimmy Rollins. It might not be an MVP. It might be a different type of card, but that was just an example. I think as we get into the Signature Series Legends, now I think we could see this Tom Seaver card. I predicted this card to be released as a program player already, and I was incorrect with that. I didn't think we would get a maxed out Tom Seaver, but I thought that we would get a higher overall diamond. He has a gold card in the game and does not have a diamond player. So I think that, you know, he could be the Signature Series pitcher. That would be a great choice to include as a 12-0 flawless reward, because Tom Seaver is one of the better pitchers and has been in the game for the last couple of years. He's just been extremely effective. I also think that they could go with Nolan Ryan as a 12-0 flawless. I just don't know if it would be this early on in the year. I mean, we're still only about 4 months or a little over 4 months into the game cycle, so we should start to see a few really good legends, a few end game players like we already have. But at the same time, I'm just trying to predict or include possible options that I would like to see. So we might not get Nolan Ryan for a little while. I mean, he was released early in the game cycle last year throughout the XP reward path, so I think that would be a great opportunity to put him into a little bit more of a rare category in the 12-0 flawless reward. But I wanted to include Nolan Ryan and Clayton Kershaw as options in this video. I think we could also see Rogers Hornsby. I talked a little bit about this card as a program prediction a little bit earlier because he was included as a collection reward last year. I don't think that he'll be a 12-0 flawless reward, but he does have a good chance because he's a very good player. He did have a World Series reward card already as well. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get another Rogers Hornsby quite yet, but this card would be extremely effective, a Signature Series player, and I don't know if they would give Hornsby anything other than a Signature Series player because he already has, what is that, an Impact Veteran World Series reward. But so far, I'm going to go with my predictions as Bryce Harper for the MVP flashback, and then Bob Gibson. I think that we could get this Bob Gibson. This one makes more sense to me rather than having Kershaw or having Nolan Ryan released. Maybe even Tom Seaver. I think this one makes more sense than all of those guys. But I did want to include Bob Gibson. I also thought that we would already have a better version of Bob Gibson. I thought he could be the Cardinals Stage 3 Team Affinity, even though I didn't talk about him because we already have that player program in Bob Gibson. I thought we might see evolution-style programs implemented into those player programs, so I didn't want to contradict any of my predictions, but now that we kind of have that confirmed, we'll go ahead and finish off this video with the game-changing play from Eric Davis and also Jackie Robinson. So that home run robbed would have tied the game up, and then we hit the 2-run shot to give us a little bit more insurance runs to close that game out. I just wanted to include that highlight because I didn't in my previous video, but I talked about it. Thank you all for watching. That's going to do it for this one. I'm College Lefty, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.